Hello! Welcome to Gamenightathon. This has been a very long time for me since I have streamed, so my apologies if things are going wrong. You already have some cats? Fate? Buffy? And wait, let me also turn on the timer for the chatty little bits. And what are my options again for the view? No, I don't think I'm going to change the view here. Okay. Can you guys hear me? That is already an important thing. And is anybody out there? Oh, wait. Comment coming in. So at least somebody's there already. Hello, Jess. Birthday human, indeed. How can I change the look of that? Cleo and the floofs. Yes, floofs are always here. The floofs are a big part of the channel. It's been so long. I'm just really like, wait, how does all this crap work? I don't know whether I can change the look of those things. Hello, kitty. I hear you, but not Buffy. I'm confused. Yeah, she's sleeping. But like 2 minutes ago, she was still meowing. She also meowed just a few seconds ago, but like I originally tried to connect like the mic that I film with so that it would just be like hanging over here, just like the lapel mic. But that one, it seems like didn't connect to the computer. So that one I couldn't use for this. So otherwise, you could have probably had a lot more cat noises and potentially also some football noises, though now that the window is closed, I don't hear it anymore because, yeah, I forgot that I'm blessed with football on my birthday because it is Belgium versus France tonight. Hello, Larissa. Hello, Natalie. So, how are you all doing? What have you started with? So, I started American Psycho, as you saw on the Discord, but I'm like 17 pages in or something like that. So, it's my new e reader, which totally doesn't show up on screen. But yeah, I'm very happy with my birthday gift to myself. So, I'm going to be reading American Psycho, but I also brought with me Alone in Space. So this is a queer comic book or graphic novel anthology. Not really sure. It's like a collection of all comics from this person called Tilly Walden. This is sort of like the art style. I don't know this person at all, but this was like a recommendation when I went to Gaze the Word. So I was like, okay, sure. I don't need anything else. I want to support Gaze the Word while I was there. And like, if they recommended this one, then I was like, yeah, sure, give it to me and I'll buy it. And then, but that one I don't know the prompt for yet because I only rolled for my first prompt so far. And tomorrow when I'm at work, I will print out the board so that at home I can also like physically roll. Because for my first roll, I had to do it like on the phone, which I think just for like vlogs, because I'm going to be doing vlogs for this month. For vlog styles, it's just nicer to have it on paper. Wait, where was I? Yes, it is my birthday. Yes. Of course, I'm here. Stayed awake just to get past the 150 page mark. Might finish the first 400 page book tomorrow. Wow, yeah. As indicated, I'm like 17 pages into American Psycho, which is also like 416 pages. So it is going to be a little bit slower for me, I think, than it is for you. Thank you. How was the day? Yeah, it was nice. It was very chill, actually. So the problem with this month is that I yesterday evening started Elden Ring again. I mean, not started. I just played some Elden Ring, and I think the entirety of the month of June until yesterday, I had not done any Elden Ring. And then yesterday I was like, oh yeah, I saw like, I don't know, YouTube had suggested me a video for my build. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can follow that video to kind of make my samurai better, which I did yesterday. And then of course today I have also played like more than 3 hours of Elden Ring as a consequence, which is not good for game night at all. But so I started the day with some Elden Ring, and then I went to like a plant center with my mother, bought a ton of plants and some of the cat food and cat litter, which normally I have to have delivered to the home to the house because it's way too heavy. So that I was able to have delivered here now. But and then Elden Ring videos filming. One is now like loading into the editing software because I haven't edited a video for tomorrow yet. So I'll have to either do that after today or tomorrow morning. Hey, Barbara, how are you? I am very well. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. I'm starting with finding the mother tree for the nonfiction prompt. Nice. That's very convenient for you that that works out, I'm guessing. Yeah, I was interested in that one, but I'm currently not following many book club schedules. I think I try to do the Of Queens, Witches, and Valkyries ones, but I typically always read it in a different month than the month in which they're reading it because I just never manage to work it. So I can only do my own read along. Red cover for Bone Shard Daughter with the star prompt tackled. Nice. I've already read about a third of my secret first book, The Secret Projects. I'm very curious. You will be weekly vlogging, or do we have to wait for like the end of the month to figure out what your secret books are? I started Heartless on audio during work, but it was way more hectic than I thought it would be and only got 50 pages in. I don't know if I want to start The Bitter Twins or continue The Trouble with Peace. So you didn't mention to finish The Trouble with Peace yesterday evening, then I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, read The Bitter Twins and catch up to us. I'm going for red cover with the star prompt first two. Nice. A few people, I think, have red cover as their first one, it seems like. I was not happy to have the out of my comfort zone prompts. I started the bookshop on the corner. There are a bit too many happy coincidences happening, but overall it's light and easy entertaining so far. Nice. The Elden Ring thing? Yeah, it is a game, of course. Yeah, it's not the type of game that I had in mind for Gamenightathon, but it is a game. True, true. I'm respecting the essence of the word Gamenightathon. Hello, thank you. What book are you reading? Indeed. I have this assassin anthology, When Swords Fall Silent. Didn't prep read like you did though, so I'll be losing points. Yeah, I didn't. Well, I mean, in principle, I prep read because there's a book that I wanted to finish in June, which I didn't finish, and I have like 230-ish pages in that one left. I was kind of intending, like, if I was able to read the remainder to get like to the perfect 200-page mark yesterday evening, but the ones who were on the amazing Readathon channel over at Barbora or Denise, not sure which one, know that I was like reading until like almost the very end, so I wasn't able to do like to get to the perfect page count. And the same with book clubs, only keep up with my own. The others I read whenever I can squeeze them in. Exactly. The good thing with like threads and stuff like that is that you can still read it like at the time that you're actually reading the book. I'm reading the familiar first and hope it will work for the prompts. Otherwise, I'll read something else after that. A lot of people reading the familiar as well at this point in time. I vlog for about 2 weeks and upload, but I might maybe share the secret books once I finish them. Aha, I will need help with the cover colors, okay? Also barely saved my book from an exploding pen, okay? Hand sanitizer cleaned my desk nicely, but my hands not so much. Oh no. Anyone know if She Who Became the Sun could be for the first star prompts? Well, yeah, I mean, arguably most of the cast is not really people you can root for. So yeah. No, I'm not far enough into Elden Ring to be able to play the DLC, so I'm still in the original game. Screw that, Readathon. I'm over it forever, lol. Okay. The amazing Readathon, I'm sure you mean. I actually had a really productive month, and whereas I was bending a lot in order to make this readathon work for me. I had a great fun. But if I would have like been more strict with rules and stuff like that, it would not have really worked for me. But then also like it's because I have like this wish to reduce my TBR, which you wouldn't say based on how many books I added to the TBR this month. So finished The Familiar, yeah, exactly, and loved it. Yes, Richie Who Became the Sun. I'm obsessed with the series. Yeah, I didn't have as great of a time with the second book, but I also had like a huge gap between book one and two. So maybe it would like work better if I were to reread book one and go into book two at a later point in time. You know, book one was a 5-star read for me, so I have no problem at one point in time rereading it. But we'll see because so little time. I too did some rule bending for the not at all amazing readerthon. Rule bending always. I don't know if you heard the timer. I hope so. Let me choose my. Is that how I'm gonna put it? Because that's like right on top of my cats. Trying to find a way where. Yeah, that's just. Yeah, whatever. I will be reading in any case. So let's turn on the timer for 40 minutes and happy reading, guys. And we're back. So I gotta say, American Psycho so far is pretty boring, but yeah, let's get to the actual action. So far, it's just like a wealthy, white, privileged guy talking. Or it was like a whole chapter in which there's like a description of how he gets ready to go out with like all the name dropping for brands and stuff like that. Yeah. So far, I'm basically waiting for more action in it, but I'm hoping that that is going to come soon. Where were we? I think this is the next comment I had to get to. My whole mid-year book tag is "He Who Drowned the World" is the best book. I definitely like certain parts of it, but there was like one character arc who I didn't really remember from the first book, and so potentially I would like, especially that's more if I were to reread book one and like hopefully grow an attachment to him. I mainly remember not really liking him all that much. I still need to sign up for Gamenightathon, although I already planned my first 4 books. There is no sign up for Gamenightathon this time around because I did nothing with the sign up last year. So I was like, yeah, why even bother? So you just have to start logging whenever you finish a book and then it will count you. So no need to actually do a sign up for it. No need to sign up. No sign up. Hello, how are you? Yeah, exactly. Don't need to sign up. Hello, welcome to Sprints. Hey, Ewald. Welcome. Hey, Nadim. Listen to 8% of my book while tidying and cleaning. Nice. Yeah, I did some tidying because I bought a whole ton of plants. So I, put them into pots and stuff like that. Finally gave some of my plants water. And then, did a tiny bit of cleaning around here, but, not too much because, it's my birthday. I didn't want to work today, so I definitely didn't want to clean today. 6 pages because my mom called. Currently reading Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Yeah, I have not read any of that, but that's just because that's not my genre, which is why American Psycho is outside of my comfort zone because I don't tend to read thriller. Um, this is probably like the closest to my comfort zone in that this does interest me to some extent. Though so far the writing style has not really been like that. Oh, hey, the Buffy yells. You have indeed been waiting for these. I was quite surprised that none of my cats took advantage of the lap being there during this sprint. Typically, I do not have that luxury, so we'll see whether they're going to behave the rest of the evening. But yeah, Buffy's already now on the lap, so we'll see. Little spoiler, but that's most part of your book. You mean the one that you put on Discord? Because that's is actually interesting, but it is dangerous if what you said there is true, because then indeed I should have saved it for another prompt. I finished dinner and read 14 pages of the secret book. Oh wait, do you guys don't hear my Discord, right? So I need to actually mute this thing. But I thought I already had muted it. Okay. That does sound like the movie, to be honest. At least the American Psycho movie have the cast going for it. Yeah, I mean, I have never watched the movie, and at one point I did want to watch the movie, but I was like, no, I'll try the book first. So I've basically still held on to that. I think the one thing for which I like there are a few movies that I haven't watched for this particular reason. One of them is also Interview with a Vampire, which I actually started to watch recently because I was like, I'm never going to read that book. But then I also only watched the first half hour or something, and then I was bored. But so yeah, we'll see what ends up happening with this book. I'm pretty sure, like, it wouldn't surprise me. I've been stung by something. It wouldn't surprise me if like this is, like lulling you into a false sense of complacency, making you think that this is just like a boring book about, like white privileged people, living on Wall Street, going out for cocktails and stuff like that, to then hit you with like a really shocking scene or something like that. So to one extent, I'm like, I want to read something else during the next sprint, just because I need something that moves. But on the other hand, I'm so expecting it to come soon that I do kind of want to read on. Almost fall asleep during the sprint, but being awake for 18 hours does that to you. Yeah, it definitely does. Like yesterday was the first time that my watch actually told me like, shouldn't you be resting, when I was trying to track my cycle to my parents' house, because on from Friday to Saturday, or I think so, yeah, from Friday to Saturday, I didn't do a whole ton of sleeping, because I had just been, no, from Saturday to Sunday I didn't sleep a lot, because it was gymnastics trials for the US this weekend, and my mind was just racing because so much happened with those trials, like that my brain was just like, whoa, what is going to happen now, because like some of the front runners for that team injured themselves last minute. Did read 18 pages. Good job. I took today off from work because it is Kitty Kotti, the end of slavery. Ah, nice. So I feel you on not wanting to work. Yeah. I had a really nice day for a day off. Why does my wrist hurt, and why are these like teeny tiny bites? I'm always worried that it's like fleas or something like that, because getting rid of fleas is such a horrible thing. I'm going to assume that these are not fleas, because otherwise, because I haven't never, it's never been the case, but every time I'm kind of worried. Now that's your book. With all things being described beyond detail, wait till you get to the business cards. Okay, intrigue, intrigue. Thriller is also not my comfort zone. Sometimes I love to read thrillers. I like, for thriller, I tend to gravitate towards like sci-fi thriller. I've read a few sci-fi thrillers just because of having read like Jurassic Park and then reading more of Michael Crichton's work. And potentially I've read more than just that, but also in like the movie thriller genre, it is the sci-fi thriller that I enjoy. I don't tend to enjoy anything involving crime, but something like this where you're actually like following the perspective of the killer. I mean, this is not a spoiler, right? This is like a really well known concept, right? That kind of would interest me more than your typical thriller, I think. I did some dishes and made some coffee because I'm getting tired already and I want to read and not sleep yet. Wow, I mean, I thought that I was okay with coffee late at night, but last weekend I tried like that TikTok coffee thingy that was like really popular like a year ago, 2 years ago maybe already, where you like mix instant coffee and water and sugar, then you put that with like your milk and stuff like that. Dalgona coffee, I think it's called. And I really liked that. But then I had that at like 6 o'clock or something like that. And I don't know whether it's really just that, but I really felt like, oh my God. At 1 o'clock, I was like, why can I not sleep? Maybe because I had a shit ton of caffeine like really late. Also need to put Nick to bed next sprint. Good night, Nick. Later. So did you have a nice birthday treat today? I am snacky as always. Like today, not really, because like it's a Monday. But I bought myself a lot of plants, which to some extent is a treat. But so yesterday, from my parents, I just got money, which I had asked them because I knew I wanted to get a new e-reader, because my Kindle has basically not really been working for the past few years, and I've basically always been reading through the Kindle app on the phone, which, I mean, it's functional. I do feel like it works, and I didn't necessarily have an issue with reading like that. But it's much nicer to read on the actual Kindle. And then part of the reason why I didn't have a functioning e-reader for that long is because I was contemplating switching. But then I was always debating, because I was like, yeah, I have all these Kindle books and Kindle has a different format and stuff like that. So I was unsure whether I wanted to switch, but in the end, the Kobo Libra color convinced me, and so I was like, okay, I am going to make the switch, and so I finally did it, and so I got part of that through my parents, and then my sister gave me like a plant pot of Lilo and Stitch, and then a wine that has dark chocolate flavor. I have yet to try this. It sounds disgusting, but my sister also said that to her it also sounded disgusting, and in the end it was really good. So we'll have to see. I still have to try that one. Like my mother kept it with her yesterday because I asked her to take me to the plant shop today, so then it was easier for her to bring it by car today. So I have it here now, but I don't think I'll still try it tonight. I'll probably keep it for the weekend because as I'm alone, it takes me multiple days to finish a bottle of wine, and so I don't think I want to be drinking like a glass of wine every evening during the week. I prefer to then just have it be a weekend thing. But so yeah, I got a whole ton of plants now because over the past year and a half or so, a lot of my plants have died. So I had to get new ones. I mean, I didn't have to, of course, because I'm now subjecting more plants to the horror that is my plant care. But and that was it, right? Yeah, that was my gifts. So yeah, I was really tempted to stay home today, but I went anyway. Might be why I'm tired because of the overstimulation of all the noises at work from the noisy people. Yeah. Yeah, we have a new colleague tomorrow. So, I mean, I always go to the office because I prefer going to the office, but and I prefer a noisier environment, I guess, compared to working at home. But I get that that's definitely not the case for everybody. At one point, I even needed my loop earbuds to silence a bit on my break so I could read a few pages. Yeah. I have only read Crichton's Jurassic Park and its sequel, The Lost World, and Eaters of the Dead, which was adapted into 13th Warrior. Haven't read that last one, but I would definitely say that for me, the best are Jurassic Park and its sequel. And then I've had good experiences with some of his others, but really bad experiences with some as well. So, it's been very hit or miss. I still find it funny that the guy who has written these books and made the movie Westworld ended up making the series ER. But ER is also so good. Like, I don't watch procedurals, but I have watched the first three, maybe four seasons of ER. So I got them through my library, and at one point I was really into it. But then, like, the library DVDs were like all that dirty, and it was constantly getting stuck, and I didn't have access to ER online. So at one point I was just like, okay, it's been too long, and I still have too many seasons to go to, so I gave up on it. But I really enjoyed them. I really thought that they had really good storylines and really good characters. I hope that wine tastes much better than it sounds. I was talking about food treats, but I guess plants are fine too. Yeah, sorry. So food treats, no, I just made myself like the Hello Fresh meal, which was like tempeh with a sriracha mayo sauce and some broccoli and carrots. I was debating because for my birthday, of course, I got a lot of emails today of discounts, and my local like fry shack also sent me an email saying that I got a discount on medium fries. But I take smaller than the small size of fries, because of just being the one person and it being Belgium, and so when you get fries, it's a ton of fries. But so I was kind of tempted to go to do it, but then it would have just been fries and sauce because then I couldn't have taken one of the, yeah, in Dutch we say vleesje, but I'm a vegetarian, so I don't actually eat meat, but like the snack that goes with it. So I was tempted, but then I was like, yeah, but it doesn't really fit into my week schedule. Plus, you don't have to get fries just because you have a discount for it. So I resisted. Forget American Psycho. Behold the foliage Psycho. Yeah, I'm not good. I don't have green fingers at all. There are a few plants that survive my care. Most of them are sansevierias, so the easiest ones. And I have like a ZZ plant, I think it's called, that's also thriving here. But I also don't do well with cacti, for example. I've gotten two cacti again, and I basically living on the edge because I got two cacti, even though I've destroyed every single cactus that I've had in the past. Though one did survive for many years before I overwatered it. But so I have two new ones that I have to try and forget about and maybe water once a half a year or so. Is that safe? And then I also bought an aloe vera, which will be my third aloe vera. All of my aloe veras commit what I consider to be suicide because they basically just like end up outside of the pots. They depot themselves somehow. So my mother was like, just treat the aloe vera like you would treat a cactus. Do not give it water. So we'll see. Because most of my other plants die because I don't give them water. So let's just hope I can keep the cactus happy as well. My easiest plant is a very dramatic plant. The easiest plant is the one that just like completely wilts when it needs water. So I see it like slumping and I was like, oh shit, need to give that one water. And then it like immediately revives within the next half hour or something like that. That is my perfect plant. That's the one that will never die because it's always indicating what it needs. Timeline by Crichton is still my favorite. Might have a Crichton planned for this Gamenightathon. Just need to throw the correct number. So Timeline is the one that I've just added because it was like in a library sale for €1. But ER has Noah Weil, Ming Na Wen, Alex Kingston, and George Clooney, among many other wonderful actors. Yeah, it also has a great cast indeed. Got you something. Oh, you didn't have to do that, Judith, but thank you very much. I wasn't sure what date it would arrive, but we'll see when it shows up. Belgians are very, very generous with their fries, of course, because fries are live. I lost my cactus during my last move, and I still don't understand it. I still had the flower pots, and it was in a closed box, and the cactus was gone. It's like that aloe vera; it depotted itself, but yours is just on an adventure somewhere, whereas my aloe vera was just like lying on my bed, like completely like pulled apart into different strands. The spirit of Bussy was already playing with it. She wasn't there yet, right? At that point in time. Don't blame her. Aloe vera or in Cleo's house, suicidal ends. Yeah, I mean, I did use the aloe vera afterwards, of course, because, might as well. But I feel bad about it because I like aloe vera a lot. I think it's a beautiful plant. But, like this, it's traumatic. But now I also got like I've forgotten the name of it, a calathea or something like that, which is supposedly a difficult plant. So I'm not sure whether that was a good idea. I also got a fern, which is also not a good idea. But I am hopeful because I did kill a fern, but I am hopeful that it was just because it was like in my bookshelf. And my bookshelf basically sees no light. So I'm hopeful that it was just that. I've only seen the Timeline adaptation, did not care for it. I didn't know it had an adaptation. No, that was during the catless time, and Wussy only eats grass. Other plants are not interesting to her, luckily. My previous cat would eat any plant that wasn't cactus or orchids. Yeah, Fate loves my spider plants, loved my spider plants, so that's a plant that also died, but that one I totally blame on Fate. If I don't kill the plants, my cats will. Yeah, I mean, that one definitely. But typically, she isn't all that interested in plants. For example, also like Christmas roses. I don't know. Poinsettia, right, is the way you say it in English as well, I guess. Those are like poisonous to cats. My cats have never shown an interest in that, luckily, because I really love poinsettia. But yeah, she has only shown interest in like two of my plants. It is Crichton. He has plenty of adaptations. The Timeline one has Paul Walker in it. Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of it is adapted. That is true. State of Fear, luckily not, I think, because that's like his climate change denial book. Tony, the previous cat, loved poinsettia too. She ate the whole thing. Oh no! because that's supposed to be really bad for cats, or like, because I don't tend to research that. But I know that the pancetta is one because a friend of mine will never buy pancettas because of her cat, and I totally understand that because her cats are like, well, now they're no longer kittens, but her cats eat everything and jump onto everything. So it would not be very safe with her cats to do so. Wait. So changing to this layout. So let's go for the second sprint, guys. And yeah, enjoy your reading. So, how did we all do during that sprint? Only read some more in American Psycho, and I am now. Well, the page count isn't fully accurate because it isn't a full page count of the book, but it's like 60 of the 403 that it's currently counting. But it is, I will be counting 416 pages because that is what the website says is the page count for this book. But so, yeah, over 1/8 of the page counts. Nothing really has happened, but there are some things that kind of, because you know what this book is about, there are some moments, some sentences that make you go like, hmm. There are quite some references to like serial killers, for example, and then now he had like a sort of reaction of like, I want to, kill him, gut him, blah blah blah, and then you're like, hmm. Well, I'm sure that this is just can be interpreted as he's being annoyed by somebody, but knowing what this book is about, I know that this is more. Wait. That's about the cats. Got to 18, so didn't impact her much. All the better. Uh, Indeed. Looking up how much is an online bookstore paying for some of the books I own, it feels like some they pay peanuts, but in total I could still get like 35 euros for not much effort, which is quite nice. Do they take everything? Because like I have one that pays you for your books, but it basically only pays for like hardcover recent releases. So if I go there with anything else, then they will give me like €1 for it or something like that. So I go to like the charity shop and just donate them like that. Because I'm like, I don't want to bother going to that store first and then having to log everything to the other store afterwards if they decide like not to pay for many of the books. Hello, welcome. What are you reading? I've reached page 50 of The Bitter Twins. Nice. 23 pages this time. Nice. Making my way through some work. I'm a bit distracted today because it's really nice out. Nice. Yeah, here it's turning around again. It's getting like, so last week was super warm. And of course, at work, the air conditioning was not working last week. And then, like, on Friday already, I feel like to some extent, right? Maybe on Friday when I came from the swimming pool, it was already bad weather. But definitely on Saturday, like Saturday was okay, but then in the evening it was like raining like crazy. Yesterday it wasn't that great. It was still okay, but it's definitely turning around and becoming like less warm again and much more rain. And then today there definitely were like it was super dark at one point here throughout the day, which is when I wanted to film, and it was like, yeah, okay. It is not good weather to film, and can look up front if they accept each book and exactly how much I'd get. There's the advantage that above 15 euros they will send someone to collect the books. Oh, that's very nice because I have to go there and I cannot. Like maybe if I send them like a list that they would let me know. But that also seems like such a hassle. I'm not sure what book I want to continue. I started 2 books today and I'm really enjoying both. Ah, okay, yeah, that's the perfect situation. Did dishes, cleaned kitchen and kettle, and vacuumed the entire flat, being productive while audiobooking. Nice. Yeah, that's the good thing about audiobooks, of course. For some, they pay like €1. They pay the most for Self Help by white men. Okay. I had a question that I also needed to ask you guys. So I'm thinking to host these on Monday evenings, but definitely let me know if there's another night that you would prefer over Monday, for example, though everybody here most likely is okay with Mondays because you're here right now. But I might also do some occasionally on Discord rather than on YouTube just to have some further sprints. I think I'll just keep to like one evening online, but like on Discord, I might do some more, and maybe I'll make it like more or less a set night. But I was thinking, for example, of making the set night Friday, and then this Friday I will be out for dinner with some friends to celebrate my birthday and the birthday of a friend that's coming up. So this Friday would already not be possible. So maybe the reading sprints on Discord will be less sort of like scheduled, and it might just be more sort of like spur of the moment thing. But then let me know if you would like prefer just like sprints like that, or whether you prefer to be notified like at least a day in advance of like I'm going to be doing sprints on Discord that day from more or less that time. So let me know about that. Yeah, that I already read. Totally down for Monday evenings. Nice. Yeah, Thursdays is when I have my physical therapy now. So that moved back to Thursday after Spanish class stopped. And so, whereas while I can, of course, combine the two, I never like combining multiple plans on a day. Hello, Raf. Being an absolute failure, I only managed to show up now. I mean, that's perfectly fine. We're happy to have you here. We will be doing one more sprint after this because I am sticking to the old format of having 2 hours of solid reading in a 3 hour time block. And that also means that I still have like plenty of time to kind of uh, prepare for bed and go to bed early because it is a weekday. I think having spontaneous Discord sprints is great too. I've put Nick to bed just now. Nice. Love, happy belated birthday. Yes, he was the 29th, so Saturday. I'm hoping I said happy birthday to you as well, Jess. You are 26th, right? There's so many people have their birthdays these days on multiple discords. A lot of people are celebrating their birthdays these days. And then in real life, so I share my birthday with my manager. So we got the text this morning to be like, happy birthday to you. No, happy birthday to you. And then on Thursday, another friend of mine has her birthday, and then within like the June July period, I have quite a lot of friends who have their birthdays, and then my mother has her birthday later this month. Fed the cats. Yeah, I feed my cat once a day early in the morning, and then they have to be okay with that because they always whine so much. I like YouTube sprints more than Discord ones because I don't lose track that easy. Yeah, I know. I can definitely get that. But I don't want to be doing sprints online more than once. So, but it's perfectly fine if you are only joining me for the YouTube sprints once. I was considering maybe doing twice a week, but another problem with that is also that on StreamYard, I don't think that I have enough like free contents hours to actually be able to do that like for the full month, for example. I think if I do like this every like once a week the entire month, I think that that just manages to work out with the amount of streaming hours that you're getting off of StreamYard. But so I will have some on Discord, and somebody is always welcome to host some as well on YouTube, aside from me. Nope, everyone. Ah, so I know the dates, but unfortunately, apparently, I forgot. So very happy belated birthday, Jess. Monday sprint sounds good to me. Nice. I am such a snowflake. I share my birthday with my brother, just 15 years apart. Wow, that's really like that's rare, right? I don't think that that happens very often to have siblings with the exact same date. I mean, not the exact same date, with the same calendar day. We also have those no happy birthdays to you, no happy birthday to you messages. Yeah, indeed. Oh my god, yes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, happy belated birthday. We all have to make it up to you now. I shared my birthday with my aunt, but she passed away this year. It was the reason my family celebrated. Wait, it was the reason my family celebrated with her this year. I was feeling too ill to go. That's sad news. Sorry for your loss. I understand there are a lot of readathons and sprints going on this month, so I will be fine. Yeah, I'm sure that there will definitely also for other readathons be sprints. But I also kind of understand. I don't know how about you, but I'm pretty particular about my sprints, so I also barely joined any of the amazing readathon sprints because like some sprints already have too many people in the chat, and then I personally don't enjoy it all that much anymore. And if I'm not getting involved in the chatty bits, then for some reason I also lose some sort of a sense of accountability, I guess, with it. So that's I will just like be like muting when they're talking, for example, sometimes, or just like not reading in the moments that I'm supposed to be reading, or turning them off like mid sprint and stuff like that. And then even with smaller chats, it might be that, if I'm not used to these people and, I'm not immediately vibing with the conversation, if they're not people that I tend to follow, I also tend to find myself like not sticking to the sprints neither. I shared birthdays with an ex's ex. That way he always remembered. Yeah, that's one way. So does he always have to then like look for girlfriends with that same birthday to make sure that he never forgets? We also share. Ah, that's nice. That's special. Happy belated birthday indeed. I'm unfortunately used to everyone forgetting. It's usually right when school gets out or when the weather is nice and everyone's like, "Guess who?" I think the 1st of July is such an easy date so that people always remember. Whereas with like a day like the 26th, for example, I have multiple friends who have a birthday like that, where I'm always hesitating, like, wait, is it the 25th, the 26th, the 27th? Um, I don't know whether there is any logic behind that or not, but I have a friend who has a birthday in November on the 25th, I want to say. And I'm always hesitating with her. Whereas I feel like most of my friends actually have birthdays early in the months. I disabled the chat in busy sprints, so I'm not looking at them. Yeah. I've forgotten my own birthday in the past. Yeah. Um, Not on the day itself, but like on Saturday evening, I was meeting up with friends, for example, and then they were like, "Yeah, happy birthday," and gave me like a card. And then generally, I was like, "All right, it's my birthday coming up." Whereas, I know it's my birthday coming up because I took the day off today, so I knew that that was happening. But somehow, like, I'm surprised, and when people mention it, like when they see me around my birthday for some reason, if I'm not like meeting them specifically for that reason. I'm just going to take a drink now. Where was I? Two of my exes share a birthday with one of my family members, my dad and my uncle, so easy to remember for me. Also don't like it when there's too many people in sprints. I haven't been joining reading sprints with people that I usually join because there were too many people during big readathons. Yeah, like I used to be a patron for Becca, and then I actually liked it when you had like the Patreon sprints because even though there were still quite a lot of people from time to time in those sprints, there was just a little bit of a different vibe. I guess because also Becca then knows everybody in those sprints, and so it feels different than compared to when she's doing a live stream, for example, on the channel where there are like 300 people in the chat, and she might not know everybody. So that way, I still enjoy it, even though it's like sometimes 100 people, for example. But at the moment, I'm not. I don't. I'm not subscribed to anybody's Patreon anymore. I would kind of want to because I do enjoy those sort of like reading sprints with some of those creators, but I'm just not sure who I would subscribe to now, so haven't done it currently. Huge sprints can be chaotic and less motivating. Also, when there are too many hosts and noises in the background, I might have to mute. I think that there's like a fine line with like sprints that have multiple creators because it can like it's nice to have them their interaction because you also like to see that, but sometimes it can be so much about the interaction between them that there's also sort of like forgetting of the chat, whereas the chat is also trying to interact with the creators, and it isn't that what I would like to see is for them to only be reading the chat and only be paying attention to the chat. I definitely want to see the interaction, but I feel like there's also another one of those fine lines that can make or break a sprint for me. I stick mostly with the pack or camp family for sprints. Yeah, mainly as well. I feel like majority of the others that I have joined, I tend to kind of like log off after a very short period of time. I know two other people today. The first of a month can be tricky if you don't have a physical calendar to turn. That's also, of course. I have a friend whose birthday is the day before my grandma's and always mix up their birthday. I had four friends with birthdays that ranged from the 10th to the 12th of May. So two on one of those same days. I think one friend is the 10th, then two were on the 11th, and then one is on the 12th. But that was a huge hurdle because it was always like, wait, who is which one of these days? My dad forgot my birthday was in January. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if my dad wasn't like if my mother wasn't there. I would be curious actually to know whether my father would like out of his own brain think of that. But I also am a really um good at like going somewhere knowing like, oh yeah, I'm going to meet that friend and it's her birthday, and then even though that's been in my mind the entire time, the moment I'm there, this is such a self-evident part in my brain that I forget to then wish them happy birthday, even though that is the reason why we're there. But then it's like, I am here to see this person to celebrate their birthday. Yes, I right, I needed to actually tell them happy birthday. I also like Becca's Patreon sprints, but I've canceled all my patrons, but one for many for money reasons. Yeah, I like Becca's Patreon sprints, but the problem I have with Becca's Patreon was just that it was very romantasy based. Like a lot of the people on there really read fantasy romance, and that's just not really my thing. And so a lot of the conversation, especially in the chats, just was about that mainly. So I wasn't getting much out of it. I was just joining the sprints basically. Still have Patreon trauma. Yeah, I have it twice now because another creator that I joined the Patreon for has also stopped their Patreon. So yeah, it's very sad. And so yeah, I know. Yeah, that's sad news. That forgetting your birthday. Ye- I had two cousins on May the 4th, and me and my aunt are May the 5th. Yeah, also very close. Yeah, May is also one of those. I do like to join sprints. Yeah, yeah, I'm very unfortunate because I was super happy when that person created a Patreon because I really love their content, and but like it wasn't unexpected neither because she has been having like really rare content, so it's very unreliable scheduling. I mean, I have that as well, so I mean, I'm not blaming or like saying anything negative about that, but so I could see it coming, of course, because yeah, it was clear that she was struggling when it came to content and managing that. But I was still sort of like really sad when she had to make that decision of saying like, yeah, I cannot charge you guys anymore because it's just like I'm just not putting the content out there. Uh, aren't all fathers a mess with that, by the way? We also thought once I was. He also thought once I was. Oh my god! I had to tell him that he also has a son who is older. I mean, that I'm sure wouldn't happen. There's also like 4 years between me and my sister, so like I consider that to be a pretty big gap, but maybe that is the same with you and your brother as well. But that would really surprise me if my dad were to no longer remember the correct order. I was just thinking of joining Sid's Patreon today, but she's in the US, so I imagine I would miss most of the sprints. I haven't watched much of Sid's content, but I also have that similarly with why can I not come up with her name at the moment? From Literature Science Alliance. I also think that like Angela, right? Yeah, I also think that because she is US based, that a lot of the if she does things, it's like you don't even know whether she does it on her Patreon, then that will just not work out timing wise for me. And I don't like to rewatch sprints. If they're not live, then I have zero accountability for them. I'm just gonna go through the chat a little bit longer before I do the final sprint. My dad always asks how old I am and adds a year so he can remember what anniversary is happening. So yeah, lol. I mean, to be fair, I also always forget the age of my parents. So like, I'm not much better. Yeah, my father was never sure which grade I was in. Yeah, I think that I could see happening. I'm really not sure whether I'm selling him short here, but that I could more easily see happening. A 1.5 year age gap. I still don't think that it is normal. Like, I think you should know which one of your children came first, but at least it's a little bit of a closer age gap so that you're closer to one another in age. But still, I always struggle with my Patreon because I don't want to put content behind a paywall. But do you have a Patreon or is this a joke? Because I saw like when you were saying like join my Patreon, and I thought you were just like making a joke about the whole YouTube spiel. But do you actually have a Patreon? And we are up to date with the chat, which means we will go into the last sprints. So after that, I'll still have a chat a little bit, but um, this is the final reading sprints. So yeah, good luck, guys. Hello, I'm back. I am. What was I? Some 80 pages, I feel like, into American Psycho. 81 out of 403. So I'll just finish that chapter after the sprints and then I'm done for the night. Uh, and I'm very tempted to do some Elden Ring, but I should actually edit. Where was I? Yes, I have one, but it's very much suffering from my failures as a human. I mean, my channel, not my Patreon, because I don't have one, but my channel was also very much struggling, suffering from my failures as a content creator. I joined Becca Books and Bujo's Patreon. She just started, and so it's very small. The struggle of her being American is real, but because she knows I'm not, she adapts book club lives and some sprints. Nice. Time for the dishes and poison song. Started editing the July TBR video. Nice. 9% more of my book. Bathroom cleaned, floors wiped, and laundry sorted. Done with all the cleaning. Nice. And that on a Monday evening. You should edit your character in Elden Ring. Yeah, but I just changed my character. My character is now a skeleton to reflect my new age. Not really, but it was just like I was following a tutorial about like really good samurai builds. And so because I constantly feel underpowered when playing Elden Ring, I was like, let me just follow this tutorial and see if it makes a difference. And for 2 hours afterwards, I felt strong. And I think I am still definitely way stronger than I was before I followed those instructions about like which blade to get and like all those types of things. But I'm definitely now in an area where there definitely are some bosses, but even just like some of the other characters that you're running into that are a struggle, but not as much of a struggle as they were before. Listen to about 50 minutes of Poison Song and we'll continue a bit longer. I read 20 pages of the familiar and I like what I've read so far. My problem is mostly coming up with cool things for patrons that is not just videos or stuff. Yeah, I can understand that. I would probably also have that issue of like I already struggle to basically keep up with 2 videos a week schedule that I'm putting myself on. So for Patreon, you would have to have more than that. And like yeah, sure, I would be able to do sprints, for example, but you would expect some other content as well, which I don't think that I would be able to do or like to really like structurally regularly do. So I just definitely I don't think I'll ever, maybe one day of course, go for the Patreon route just because I think it's like too much pressure I would be putting on myself. Made coffee so I can focus on work better. Mixed results so far. The focusing or the coffee? I do also want a coffee, but now definitely not anymore. It is 10 o'clock over here, so that's definitely too late. I appreciate when people post less videos, so I have a better chance of catching up. Lol, understandable. I don't think that there are any creators of whom I watch every single video. Like I watched Natasha Ocean, and for her, I would have watched every video, but she has also just announced that she is quitting YouTube. But like booktube wise, I don't think I watch every video of anybody because everybody will have, occasional content that just doesn't interest me. For example, book hauls. I very rarely watch a book haul. So even, for example, Becca, who I watch quite a lot of her videos for, there definitely are quite a few of her videos that I also just won't watch. But that's also, of course, because she has multiple videos a week. But even then, um, I don't tend to always watch her vlogs, for example. So for every creator, I think that I always just kind of make a choice of what I watch. I never end up watching their every single video. Another one. Wow. Another cup of coffee, Judith. Focusing. Coffee is delicious. Yeah. I started Nicholas Campion's The New Age in the Modern West, Counterculture, Utopia, and Prophecy from the 18th century to the present day. Okay. These types of titles just make me go like, I have no idea what this is about, even though it mentions it. I so feel that yes, with the videos, if it's more than 2 videos a week, not a chance I will watch it all. Yeah, definitely not. If it's like 3 a week, no, impossible. Watching every video from everyone is also just way too many videos to be able to watch in a lifetime. Yeah, definitely. I have kind of, I haven't kept up with it, but at one point in time, I was removing a few of my subscriptions just to have less in my subscription feed. Because at one point in time, I was just adding a ton because, if somebody had like a really interesting video concept, I wanted to be, aware of it, or I wanted to have it pop up in my subscription feed. But for some people, then like they are in my subscription feed, but I will almost never click on their videos, for example. And so I was like calling some of those subscriptions at one point in time on my YouTube. But I did it like in one time, in which I was just going through the subscription feed and just like removing a few people. But I should do it again because I still have way too many people on my subscription feed. And like even if there are less people, there will still be more videos than I will actually be watching. But now it's just like I don't even see like I barely see the ones that I really want to watch. I also saw a very old picture of Teen Judith on my high school gala with red hair. Nice. All I make is things for DC Comics-a-thon, too shy to be in front of a camera. Actually seeing my face in any form is usually rare. I can totally understand that. I also I wouldn't say that I struggle a ton with it. I also don't necessarily like seeing my face all that much, or hearing the voice, or having to deal with editing and like not being able to come up with the words to say what I want to be saying. That is quite like confronting to some extent. So but I do enjoy having the content. So I have to get through making the content. It's the history of the New Age movement. Okay, don't know much about that. I think the coffee won't even help that much anymore, but I want to read at least a tiny bit more. I have a knack for subscribing to people who stop making videos, so that helps. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, a video will appear of somebody, and I'm like, oh wait, wow, I haven't watched that person's video for a very long time, and then it turns out that they've been on a break for a while, and that it wasn't me. It was just like they were indeed not showing up in my subscription feed because they weren't making anything. By the way, in the book that I'm currently reading, Donald Trump pays a visit in it, or like Donald Trump is mentioned and Ivana Trump is mentioned. I'm just a little bit curious as to the publication date for it because, I mean, it's not a classic, of course, it's a modern classic, but it's interesting to see when that one was published. And it has like a guest appearance of Tom Cruise, and I'm actually quite curious now whether Tom Cruise plays himself in the movie or whether that scene was just like not included. And part of me is kind of hoping that he will end up killing Tom Cruise in this book, but probably won't be happening. I get sick of the sound of my own voice after about 2 minutes. Yeah, understandable. Although two of my current workshopping ideas are not DC teams. Ah. Wow, I physically flinched at that name. Speaking of trauma law. Yeah, yeah. Trauma still ongoing, I'm sure. Uh, but it is funny when you see his name mentioned in like old media, or like when you watch Home Alone 2, for example, and be like, that's completely different, like reference point as Donald Trump that he was then versus what he is now. Like none of them are positive, of course, but Dumpy is mentioned. Oh no, combined with the book from the 90s, I recently said that I had "Oh, Make America Great Again." That is weird. The world runs on like these weird coincidences of things being mentioned around the same time, things that you typically don't hear much, though I guess we're hearing that name quite a bit recently, unfortunately. So yeah, that was the timer indicating that these sprints are ending. I don't have any new comments, so I'm actually up to date on the chat right at the time in which I'm going to be ending this one. But so yeah, I'm going to be finishing a few more pages and then trying not to play Elden Ring, which will actually be difficult. But if I play Elden Ring now, it's going to be until after midnight, which is not a good plan. Every time I get an ad with Obama, I say, "I miss you." Does he have many ads running in the US? I don't mind having to see my own face when I'm editing, but when the live I did, well, but with the live I did with Raf, whenever that thumbnail shows up in my feed, I don't want to have to see my own face. Thanks. You're welcome. Enjoy the readathon indeed. Good luck. We will keep up to date with one another and our progress in the Discord. And then the next time I'll do a live for this will be next Monday. But so yeah. Hope you guys have a lovely evening, day, depending on your time. And yeah, see you guys for the next one. Bye.